Kepada pengantin pria ibu berpesan, Ananda pengantin wanita jangan kau sia-siakan. So the translation could be, check the bamboo shoots of the young stalk grows a stem. To the groom the mother gave a message, don't fall away on Ananda or bride. The first rhyme, which dedicated to the groom while doing sapsapan by mother-in-law, means, as can be seen from the rhymes, to the groom the mother gave a message, don't fall away on her or bride, means the mother giving advice to son-in-law. Once you married her, taking care of her as much as mother taking care of her since she was born. Okay, so this is cacap-cacapan. Cacap-cacapan is performed by men of bride and groom, like father, grandfather, could be replaced with uncle, the elder sibling from father, or it could be the husband of father sister if the oldest is a woman. So this is like the opposite of sop-sopan. Sop-sopan is by women, but cacap-cacapan by men. Cacap-cacapan was started by the father from the bride, sprinkle and rub the head of the groom, son-in-law first, followed by the daughter or the bride with rhymes. So this is the rhyme. Ambil air batang hari 9, beri ramuan bunga setaman, cacap-cacapan di kepala penyejuk perasaan agar sabar menghadapi zaman. So the translation, take batang hari 9 water, give a stammer flower potion into the heading to head feeling conditioning. In order to be patient in facing the times, the first rhyme, which dedicated to the groom while doing cacap-cacapan by father, means, as can be seen from the rhymes, into the head feeling conditioning. In order to be patient in facing the times, means the father giving advice to son-in-law by water which to be sprinkled and rubbed on the head, hope that son-in-law could be patient facing the life. And the prayer, the third. So this is the prayer is like Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, wa bihi nasta'in ala umuri dunya wadin, assalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya wal mursalin, wa alaihi washabihi ajma'in. Amin ya rabbal alamin. So the translation could be in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All the praises and thanks to Allah, the Lord of the universe. We ask for help in all matters. May prayers and salvation abound to the most noble prophet and his family and his friends as a whole. And the fourth is closing. So this is also a rhymes. Naik kereta arah ke Lahat, pergi ke sawah memetik jamur, selesai sudah acara adat budaya lama warisan leluhur. So the translation, take the train going to Lahat, go to the field, speaking mushrooms, the custom event is over, all culture heritage. So this is the conclusion. The first is the communicative situation of sop-sopan and cacap-cacapan tradition happened after the solemnization of marriage has been done and took place in groom house and attended by relatives both from groom and bride. The communicative events of sop-sopan and cacap-cacapan contains with roasted chicken turmeric rice, symbolize prosperity and grandeur, while fresh water in a bowl filled with stammen flowers symbolize the purity of the noble ideas of beauty and fragrance that blends in life. Sop-sopan is performed by women, mother, grandmother, aunt, other relatives, while cacap-cacapan is performed by men, father, grandfather, uncle, and other relatives. The communicative actions start with opening, sop-sopan, then followed by cacap-cacapan. Both are accompanied by the rhymes, prayer, and also closing. So the Palembang tradition, marriage ceremony, sop-sopan, and cacap-cacapan are one of the customs that contain traditional values. However, along with the development era, Palembang traditional marriage is less noticed by some people. Therefore, hopefully this paper could be useful to introduce this marriage ceremony back in order to be understood and live until finally it will evoke in pride in Palembang community towards its own culture. Okay, that's all the presentation from me. I'll give it back to the moderator.
Okay,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much, Jenny. Thank you. And I think this is interesting topic to be here today. However, if some of you want to propose a question or just curious about what is swap-swapan or cacap-cacapan is, let ask question to Jenny. Is there any question?
Yes.
If there is no question, then I will ask to Jenny. Jenny,
Yes.
if you want to summarize your research, you have already mentioned that there is relations between nature and these rituals, and I think these rituals is one of the life cycle rituals, right, for Palembang communities. If you can summarize what is actually the relationship between the nature and the rituals is.
Because the focus is both event is sop-sopan and cacap-cacapan. Sop-sopan is symbolized by the chicken turmeric rice, while cacap-cacapan is symbolized by water bowl, or it calls a taman flower in a bowl. So relation with nature is, yeah, of course it's very clearly that it's sop-sopan is symbolized by the wet water from a flower, setaman. It's called setaman. It is like 7 kind of flowers with water in a bowl, and it's sprinkled to the head of the groom and bride. So it's like it's called cacap-cacapan. While sop-sopan, the relation with nature is also the chicken with turmeric rice, similar with tumpeng. So it's also has with nature.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's like that.
Okay, I think it's clear
Thank you
enough that.
for question.
Yeah, thank you, Jenny. And I think it clears enough for describe this relation between how it can be spirited from the nature, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Looking forward to seeing your study again, Jenny, in the next, maybe in the next future or in the next year. Okay,
Yes.
thank you again, Jenny, for your presentation and fruitful discussion.
You're welcome.
Okay, we are moving to the second presenter. The second presenter is maybe ladies, right? Let us check. The paper, which is entitled Understanding the Urgency of Human Relation with Nature in the Pandemic Era through Yusei Matsui's Assassination Classroom Comic. Okay. Okay. Who will deliver this presentation?
Yes.
Mr. Amri Fabdillah Ahmad, right?
Ahmad. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
can I call you Amri or Ahmad?
Amri. Yes,
Amri, okay.
Hi.
Okay, Mr. Amri, time is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for the times.
Okay,
Yes.
you're welcome.
Let's start. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Amri Fadila Ahmad. I'm from Master of Literature Program di Ponegoro University. Today, I would like to present my presentation. The title is Understanding the Urgency of Human Relations with Nature in the Pandemic Era through Yusei Matsui Assassination Classroom Comic. And this is the table of content. And introduction. Various problems in the learning system that have emerged in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic do not mean that all educated activities for children must be stopped. With the existing limitations, teachers and parents are required to remain active and creative in providing education to children. Teachers and parents must work together to find ways so that children do not get bored studying from home and can still gain knowledge. Various kinds of things around use can be used as learning media, one of which is comic. The Assassination Classroom comic by Yusei Matsui tells is the story of junior high school student in class 3E Kunugi Gaoka who is discriminated against by his teachers and other students. The student in class 3E are considered a group of hopeless students and don't have a good future. Their classroom are located in the middle of the mountain behind the main building of Kunugi Gaoka Middle School with limited school facilities. However, the arrival of Mr. Koro, or in Japanese, he called Koro Sensei, as three is homeroom teachers, changed everything. With his teaching method, class 3E students can improve their abilities in academic and non-academic fields. Even though it is assassination classroom, but this comic is not about assassinations, since like in horror stories, because the plot is about a teacher who wants to change the perspective of a group of junior high school students. There are many things that can be learned through the assassinations classroom comic, especially about the relationship between teachers and students and about how Mr. Koro educates 3E students so that they not only have a good relationship with their fellow humans, but also with the nature around them. This study aims to describe how Mr. Koro educates about how to utilize natural resources optimally without destroying the existing ecosystem. And this is Mr. Koro and his student. In the right picture is Mr. Koro with a unique shape, but in the fact he is human being made the object of scientific testing. Maybe some people in here who are anime fans know about it. And the picture on the left, he is Mr. Koro and the student of class 3E. There are 32 students in totally. And the method used in this research is the contextual analysis method. Contextual analysis is an analysis of written works that can help use assess the work based on the historical and cultural context of the era in which the work was created, and also based on its textuality and material object. There are 21 volumes of Assassination Classroom comic, but only 3 volumes are relevant to my research. That is volume 5, 13, and 14. And result and discussion. The picture on the left, this is condition of class 3E building. In the previous explanation, it was described that student of class 3E at Kunugi Gaoka Middle School receive discriminatory treatment from their school. This discriminatory treatment causes students to feel insecure and having difficulties improving their abilities in both academic and non-academic fields. And the arrival of Mr. Koro, who is their homeroom teacher, slowly changed the situation of the student of class 3E. Mr. Koro teaches his student how to build human relationship and how to make use of natural resources so that nature is preserved. And this is the first thing Mr. Koro did was utilization of spring for swimming pool. Based on the conversation above, In this picture, we can see that Mr. Koro indirectly taught students to use natural resources and as needed without destroying something that already existing. The dialogue in the picture in Biset also shows that Mr. Koro does not only focus on making a playground for class 3E student, but he also designed a concept so that this place can also be used by 3E student as a media for learning. And and this image shows the student playing in the swimming pool made by Mr. Koro by damming the springs. And the second things that Mr. Koro did was utilization of animal and vegetable resources for the school festival. Every November, the school festival is a routine that is held once a year in school in Japan, especially by junior and senior high school. There are variety of activities that can be featured or included in the school festival. Class 3 students choose to open a food stall based on the advice given by Mr. Koro as shown in the picture. They can take advantage of various kinds of plants, fruits, and animals that are on the mountain where their class is located. In the picture on the side, Mr. Koro says that many food ingredients around their classroom building are expensive if you buy at the market. Example is the matsutake mushroom, which is and the school festival takes place on the weekend of mid-November with the motivation conveyed the 3E class rushed to collect various kinds of plants, seeds, fruits, fish, and so on. They share tasks from cookies, providing utensil, promotion, services, and other. The small 3E class building in the middle of the mountain is converted into a food stall. Initially, many adopted the plan of this class 3E student. However, blessed to the relationship they have with many people outside the school alongside Mr. Koro upbringing, their shop uh, their shop began to be visited by many people. And this is we can see in the picture on the first day of the school festival, the 3E food stall was not too many visitors. Most of the visitor the first day were people who had been helped by students from class 3E. And this is the number of visitor. The number of visitor on the second day made their ingredients running low, and Mr. Koro asked to close their shop early.
Sorry,
Mr. Koro,
Amri. Two
huh?
minutes left for you for presentation. Two
Oh,
minutes left.
I,
Okay.
yes. And the conclusion about this, based on the result of the discussion above, we can conclude that the Assassination Classroom comic by Yusei Matsui, we can understand first the importance of bond of or relationship between living things, especially with nature, because if human respect nature, take care of nature, uh, then nature will also protect humans. And second, children should be taught about the importance of respecting and protecting nature from an early age, as do parents and school teacher in Japan. And third, comic can be used as an alternative learning media during by the current pandemic. Indeed, this fictional comic looks ridiculous, but there are many human values that can be taken from this comic. And thank you for this attention.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation, Mr. Amri. And I think this topic also is very interesting for us to be here because for me, at least it is quite new, and actually I'm not a big fan for anime, or I'm not an
Yes.
anime lover, so I don't really understand what the anime is talking about. Or maybe some of you who are an anime lover, you can propose a question to Amri related how the nature have relations to the perspective of anime creation in the certain title. Okay, I'll invite the participants or ladies and
I have question,
gentlemen.
Ibu Nelly.
Oh, okay, okay. We have Pak Rabijian Amaruli who want to propose a question. Please,
Okay,
Pak Rabijian.
I have a question from my daughter,
Okay, it seems interesting.
who is actually Koro
And
Sensei. He,
oh,
yeah, animal or human or mix, yeah. And then
oh, I don't know.
who is actually Nagisa, man or woman? If he is a boy, why he looks like a girl? Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Thank you very much.
Okay, maybe Mr. Amri will give you explanation about it.
Mr. Koro or Koro Sensei, he does have a unique shape, but in the fact he is human. He is human being made object of scientific testing. He is a man. He is in the apa ya? In the
You can use bahasa Amri. I think it's
ya
okay.
ya kalau apa Koro Sensei ini sebenarnya manusia biasa, dahulunya pembunuh, seorang killer, namun karena seorang kekasihnya yang guru meninggal karena suatu kejadian, akhirnya dia mengabdi sebagai guru. Dan Koro Sensei ini sebenarnya itu dia manusia biasa dan dijadikan objek penelitian oleh beberapa saintis sehingga tubuhnya menjadi aneh seperti itu.
Okay. Okay, Pak Jihan, have you got what Mr. Amri means? And you can pass the answer to your daughter. I think it's quite.
Nagisa is boy or a girl?
Oh, Nagis, that is a boy. He's a boy. Main karakter.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pak Rabijihan Amaruli, for your question. Is there any questions for the participant from the participants? If you do not have question yet, then maybe this is the end for Mr. Amri session, right? Mr. Amri, thank you very much for your presentation, and this is very interesting topic for an anime lover like by Jihan. And I hope to see your works again in the next future year. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Amri. Good luck for your research. Now we are moving to the third presenter. The third presenter is someone who will deliver a topic entitled Preserving Water Culture, Local Festivals or Matsuri in Japan, and Sedekah Laut in Pantai Utara Jawa, Jepara, Indonesia. So this is a comparative study, I think. And it will be very interesting to us to hear what they have done in that study. So who will deliver for the presentation?
I am Miss.
Okay, I think Miss Filza here. Okay, Miss Filza, time is yours. 10 minutes for presentation and maybe another 5 minutes for question and answer.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss. Allow me to share screen first. Okay. Good evening to participants and welcome to my presentation. First of all, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Filza Anita Mirina from Department of History, Diponegoro University. What I like to present to you today is preserving water culture, local festival Matsuri in Japan, and sedekah laut in Pantai Utara Jawa, Jepara, Indonesia, written by Sri Indrati and Filza Anita. What I intend to do is describing how to preserving nature with a local ceremony and how does this related to preventing COVID-19. My presentation may be divided into 3 points. First is about the introduction or the background of this research, and the second is result and discussion of Sedekah Laut Jepara, Tenjin Matsuri in Japan, and concept of water and culture. And the third or the last of discussion is the conclusion. About the introduction, I would like to inform you that water becomes part of human life, especially for economics and cultures. Culture consists of everything that is produced, stands, and sharing symbolic experiences. In Japan, water is used for Japanese festival. One of the biggest festival is Tenjin Matsuri. The purpose is interpreted as ceremony and dedication for kami or god for Shinto. In Indonesia, there's also ceremony that use water for the procession called Sedekah Laut in Jepara. This research used methods by comparison of Indonesian and Japanese traditional ceremonies. Next is I want to show you where's the location of traditional ceremony in Jepara, especially in Ujung Batu village, and in Japan, especially in Osaka. Next, I'd like to give you an overview of Sedekah Laut Jepara in Ujung Batu village that held for 2 days, 6 and 7 Shawwal. Sedekah Laut is the traditional ceremonies which carried out the pelarungan as the culmination of the ceremony and also carried out for fishermen community in Jepara. On 6 Shawwal is the preparation. As you can see at the picture, there's head buffalo have been slaughtered by when wrapped with mori fabric and given prayer by kiai to becomes as a sesaji for Danyang, the master of Laut Jawa. Why buffalo? Buffalo are animals that like to live in cold places, and the meaning is hope there's always harmonious atmosphere and avoid negative things. There are food for sesaji too, like dekam chicken, bucek, nasi nuk-nukan, sayur kunci godong kelor, gesek, sawan laut, jajan pasar, abang putih, and setangkep. Next is the preparation for 2 miniature ships for pelarungan and foods of sesaji. After that, there's also selamatan and pilgrimage or ziarah to Ciklanang and Kiai Ronggomulyo, and followed by wayang kulit performance in TPI Ujung Batu. Next is the ceremony. As you can see at the picture, there's miniature replica ship carried out sesaji for pelarungan, followed by multiple fishermen ships. Prayers and hopes are served to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to avoid the dangerous things. Next is Tenjin Matsuri in Japan. Tenjin Matsuri in Japan also held for 2 days on 24 and 25 of July. On 24 of July, it's called Yomiya, or the opening of festival, and 25 or Honmiya, or the ceremony. Tenjin Matsuri purpose to pray for gratitude and get to be closer to Kami or God for blessing received. On 24, there's sound of drum as the opening for the festival, or you can see at the left picture, it's called Moyoshi Daiko as the opening for festival. After that, opening festival followed by rituals called Huk Nagashi Shinji, like ritual performance, or you can see at the right picture. There's also offering to Kami by food ceremony, consists of water, sake, salt, mochi, red seed bean, seaweed, daikon radish, burdock, taro, lotus, root, groats, cucumber, apples, and the hoko. At the 25 or the Honya, held by two rituals such as Rikutogyo and Funatogyo. The ceremony started with formal greetings in the shrine with 2,600 participants, followed by Rikutogyo, or you can see at the first picture, is the huge procession, carries drums or small shrine to Tenjin Bashi Bridge around 3 p.m. And the highlight of the festival is Funatogyo, when Mikoshi or mini shrine is loaded onto the ships for the procession. The implementation Matsuri means in various ways. According to Shinto, Matsuri is a form of gratitude to Kami. Another meaning of Matsuri is for the entertainment, because people can show the beauty Matsuri and elements of the rituals. Next is about the concept of water and cultures. Sedekah Laut and Tenjin Matsuri both use water as a medium in ceremonies. Continuity of them means blessing to nature through ceremonies. Sedekah Laut and Tenjin Matsuri use water in ritual has become a culture that continues to be preserved even in the middle of modern society. What is given by nature will be returned to nature. That concept is held in ceremonies with even rundown involve a group of people. By carrying out the ceremony, humans indirectly have cleaned nature from the dirt that damage it. And the conclusion is, I want to inform you that pandemic in certain days give impact in many sectors, not least Sedekah Laut and Tenjin Matsuri. You have to follow the protocol like physical distancing, wearing mask or double mask, and change it every 4 hours. Avoid touching the face, nose, and mouth. Wash hands frequently using soap and water to reduce transmission of COVID-19. Sedekah Laut and Tenjin Matsuri use water for the ritual have become a culture, and water is also one of the mitigation measures for COVID-19. And this research portrays that traditional ceremonies aim to preserve nature and also a shared responsibility. Prevention of COVID-19 can use the concept of traditional ceremonies that prevention of COVID-19 is a shared responsibility, namely by taking of each other. That's all my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Filza, for your presentation. And I invite for the participants who want to ask a question to Ms. Filza for his research in comparative study of Sedekah Laut and Matsuri in Japan. Sedekah Laut in Jepara and Matsuri in Japan. Okay, so maybe here there is Mr. Amri that studied about Japan. So maybe you have any questions to Ms. Filza. Please propose a question. Please feel free. Okay. Is there any question for Ms. Filza? If there is no question, then I'll ask a short question for you. Is there any impact for the rituals of Sedekah Laut, or in this regard you compare with Matsuri in Japan, impact that the rituals have certain impact from the COVID-19 pandemic. You say that there are some components that have changed or maybe uh, did not conducted, or what are the differences between before the pandemic or now we are in the pandemic situation?
Yes, the impact, the ritual of sedekah laut in Jepara and Tenjin Matsuri in Japan is in this pandemic. Sedekah laut, it's different from before the pandemic because in the certain days, sedekah laut is only for fishermen community that people cannot saw the apa cannot saw the ceremonies, and it's just for fishermen community and also the government. And for the Tenjin Matsuri, as I know, apa ya?
You can use bahasa, Phil.
Oh ya.
Feel free to answer.
Untuk Tenjin Matsuri di Jepang untuk masa pandemik ini itu nggak berjalan. Jadi karena kan seperti yang sudah saya jelaskan sebelumnya, ada beberapa ritual yang mengharuskan membutuhkan banyak orang sampai 2.600 partisipan, yang dimana itu menyebabkan kerumunan. Jadi untuk mengurangi penyebaran COVID-19, jadi acara itu ditiadakan untuk di Jepang. Cuma untuk di Jepara kemarin setelah Idul Fitri itu hanya untuk komunitas nelayan dan pemerintah saja.
Oh, I see. So there is any difference for the participants who want to participate in the rituals, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, clear. Thank you very much, Ms. Filza, for your presentation and your answer for the short question. Okay, we are moving to the next presenter. The next presenter is, wait, I will see. Miss Duyana Retno Yulianti, who will present her works entitled Mr. Duyana is The Meaning of Water in Japanese Padusan and Japanese Misogi Harai Rituals. Miss Duyana?
Yes, Miss Nurlaili.
Miss Duyana, okay. Miss Duyana, time is yours, Miss Duyana. 10
Yes,
minutes for presentation and 5 minutes for question and answer. Okay.
Thank you. The first is allow me to show you the screen.
Sure.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude for the opportunity that has been provided to me. Let me introduce myself. My name is Duyana Retno Yulianti. I am an undergraduate student in the Japanese Language and Culture Study Program at Diponegoro University's Faculty of Humanities, Semarang. In this time, I would like to present our paper with the title, The Meaning of Water in Japanese Padusan and Japanese Misogi-harai Rituals. This presentation will be divided into several sections as listed in the table of contents. There are introduction, Padusan ritual in Java, Misogi-harai ritual in Japan, recapitulation of the meaning of water in Japanese Padusan and Japanese Misogi-harai rituals, and the last is conclusion. Let us now move on to the first section of the introduction. Japanese and Japanese people are known for upholding their culture and traditions. Many traditions and rituals have developed in both countries. One of which is the use of water as a medium. The choice of water as a media ritual is certainly not without purpose, but it contains many meanings, as does the existence of water as a source of life. Furthermore, because Indonesia and Japan are archipelagic states with abundant water sources, the use of water as a ritual medium is not a taboo subject. However, in modern era, many young people do not understand the meaning of the rituals they perform, including the meaning of using water as a ritual medium. This is a problem because culture has lost its meaning, and the younger generation cannot learn something worthwhile from it. Furthermore, culture will be lost, resulting in the loss of national identity. Aside from the issue of cultural sustainability, another issue that can arise as a result of the community's loss of culture and tradition is environmental sustainability. For example, a tradition performed in specific locations such as rivers, seas, or other water sources will almost certainly be kept clean and sustainable in order that is not harmed or lost. Tradition cannot be carried out if the water source is contaminated, such as with murky water. Similarly, if the community loses and forgets tradition, it is possible that the existence of places such as water sources will also be forgotten and lost. This study will only focus on the Padusan ritual in Java and the Misogi Hare ritual in Japan because they are thought to be comparable in that they are both bathing rituals using water as the medium. The Padusan ritual is a soul cleansing ritual conducted in Java to welcome the holy month of Ramadan. The Padusan originally comes from the word adus, which means bathing. The rite is performed in large groups in a variety of locations, such as river, a pool, and a bathroom. Shinto people in Japan have a ritual called Misogi Harai, which is similar to the Padusan ritual. Etymologically, Harai means purification, while Misogi means ablution. In terms of etymology, Harai or Harai is the generic name for the act of ritual purification to remove impurities, of which there are several forms. And Misogi is a ritual of self-purification performed under the waterfall, but it also does not close to the possibility that Misogi is also done by the sea, river, or special ponds. Research aim. This study focuses on three aspects: history, performance time, and both Padusan and Misogi Hare ritual procedures. The ritual procedure can indicate how the water media plays a role in the ritual, and the history of the ritual and the timing of performance can define how the ritual began and why it should be performed. The aim of this research is to determine the similarity of the meaning of water media used in both ritual by analyzing these three aspects. This research is a literature review. Documentation such as books, journals, websites, and pertinent papers is used as a source of data. The collected data is analyzed using qualitative content analysis. The next section is Padusan ritual in Java. History. Padusan ritual was originally developed from Hindu, Buddhist, and animism civilization, which were the belief of Indonesian ancestors, despite its Islamic nuances. It was utilized as a method of self-purification by knights, poets, Brahmins, and masters throughout the Majapahit kingdom. In addition, ascetic and kings who is the meditate must first execute the Padusan ritual to purify their souls and bodies of impurities that can lead to sin. The ascetic and kings are expected to bring ubarampe or requirements that have been determined, such as scents, incense, 7 flowers in various forms, etc., for the ceremony that is performed the day before the meditation. After the entrance of Wali Songo, a character who preached Islam in Java, the culture of the existing ancestral beliefs was mated with Islamic culture. The goal of the marriage of the two cultures is to preserve society's culture while being true to Islamic principles. This is also one of Wali Songo's strategies for peacefully introducing Islam. The strategies will not terrify Indonesians who were formerly Hindus and Buddhists. Rituals that were earlier embellished with frankincense and mantras are now abolished because they can cause shirk according to Islamic principles. Padusan ritual became a routine activity of the community when it came to welcoming the holy month of Ramadan after being mated with Islamic teachings and culture by the Wali Songo. Padusan is also one of the ways to protect the environment as a form of gratitude to God. The sites where Padusan ritual are performed will be kept clean and preserved in order to preserve their sanctity. Even some Padusan ritual implementation sites are considered sacred and should not be tainted because it will result in disaster. Padusan ritual is practiced in almost every region of Central Java province, as well as in some areas of East Java. Although performed in different locations, the ritual is performed on the same day each year, which is one day before Ramadan in the afternoon. The following is the procedure for implementing Padusan in Boyolali, Central Java. The ritual began with the execution of the kirap or carnival by participants including Taman Pendidikan Al-Quran students, marching bands, and rows of Kreto Kencono. The kirap cavalcade begins at the Banyundono sub-district office that ends at the bathing spot, which is a relic of Keraton Kasunanan Surakarta Hadiningrat. The procession's purpose is to accompany Mas and Mbak, who will later represent the Padusan ritual's opening ceremony. Siraman Dalam begins with the accompaniment of ciblon music or water music played by the youths in the pool. Furthermore, the Mas and Mbak couples who have become a symbol of the beginning of the Padusan ritual are watered with water taken from the Keraton Heritage Pool Spring. This procession has significance as a form of self-purification from past sins and to improve the intention of welcoming the month of Ramadan. Furthermore, the procession is intended to ask God for blessing. The next is Misogi Hara ritual in Japan. Misogi ritual, as described in Nihongi and Nihon Shoki, began with the story of the gods who founded the Japanese archipelago Izanami no Mikoto and Izanagi no Mikoto. They met, procreated, and created islands. Izanami no Mikoto died and went to the land of the dead, or Yomi no Kuni, after giving birth to her son, the god of fire. Izanami stated that the first time she visited Yomi no Kuni, it appeared dirty and polluted. Izanagi no Mikoto, who was saddened by the loss, pursued Izanami to Yomi no Kuni. In that place, he was pursued by ominous-looking creatures. He managed to escape the creature and return to the world. After returning from Yomi no Kuni, he found himself dirty. When he bathed in the Tajibana River and cleansed himself, and it is recorded to be the first Misogi ritual practice. Death, which is one of the sources of tsumi or impurity in Shinto mythology and belief in Japan, is something that can impede the power of kami. The kami cannot give his strength until the place of worship and the worshipper's soul have been cleansed of tsumi. As a result, misogi is one method for removing tsumi from the body and Shinto places of worship. Misogi is not only a ritual of purification from the dirt of the afterlife, but it also has another meaning. Japanese people have long believed that rivers, seas, and other bodies of water have guardians. They can salute to the guardians in the area by performing misogi. They will also protect these locations and keep their status as holy places sacred. Misogi ritual is now required for Shinto priests who is to devote themselves to kami or god. Misogi Hara ritual is not performed at all shrines at the same time. Misogi ritual, for example, are performed once month from April to October at Takekoma Shrine in Miyagi Prefecture. The ritual will begin at 7 a.m. local time. In addition to Takekoma Shrine, Misogi is also performed at Tsubaki Grand Shrine in Mie Prefecture on the 11th of every month, including in the winter season. The ritual is performed under a waterfall late at night or early in the morning. Through this ritual, worshippers in Tsubaki Grand Shrine can unite with nature and communicate with the kami. There are 7 steps in the ritual procedure, starting with pre-ritual. Participants not advised to consume meat, alcohol, or anything else that may impair their senses. When the participants' bodies and souls are ready to perform the ritual, they gather in front of the shrine of peace. Before entering the waterfall area, participants should perform a simple purification ritual called Haiden. Following that, men should wear a white loincloth and hachimaki or headband, and women should wear a white kimono and hachimaki. When the participants enter the waterfall area and face the main hall of worship known as Honden, the ritual will begin. They bow twice, clap twice, and bow once more. The next session will consist of some sort of exercise guided by Michihiko. The first exercise of sorry. The first exercise after pre-ritual is Furitama. Participants hold their hands in front of their stomachs and shake them while repeating the words Haraedo no Okami. They must focus in order to communicate with the kami. The exercise purpose is to activate the participant's soul. The next exercise is Torifune. This exercise is combined by the Furitama and repeated for several times. The purpose of the Torifune is to introduce the physical dimension to the spiritual dimension. And the next is Otakebi. The participants follow the Michiko's invocations with their bodies straightened, feet slightly apart, and hands on their waists. The invocations are shouted to activate the soul, to affirm awareness, and to keep the soul activated. The last long invocation was read as the way of acknowledging Tarutahiko Okami's great power as the head of earthly kami. The next is Okorobi. The standing position remains unchanged from the previous position. The ritual participants then place their left hand on their waist, followed by 2 fingers on their right hand pointing forward in a gesture similar to Boy Scout salute. Michiko shouts the 3 kami names, which the participants must repeat while demonstrating the hand-cutting gesture with the sword. The purpose of the okorobi is to unite with the 3 kami so that their impurities can be removed and they can gain strength from the kami. Then the next is ibuki. The participants should stretch out the hands and arms while inhaling deeply and slowly exhaling through the mouth and repeat it 5 times. Participants then turn to face the waterfall, bow twice, clap their hands twice, stretch their arms, and come down from the waterfall. And the last is Nyusui. Michiko will give purifying salt and sake, and participants must spread it into the stream 3 times by the mouth. Michiko then recites a prayer and continued by cutting the air 9 times, followed by shouts of "Ye!" The participants then enter the water and spray themselves on the face, chest, and loins. Michiko ended the ritual with a shout of "Ye!" Based on the analysis that the previous subsection, summary of the form of a table can be created to determine the similarities and differences in the meaning of water in Padusan and Misogi Harai rituals. Both rituals have the same meaning in numbers 1 and 4. They are purifying the soul from impurities or sin and returning the spirit to devotion to God. However, the meaning of water in numbers 2 and 3 is only owned by Misogi Harai rituals. They are the media to obtain God's power and the media of communication with God. Conclusion. The water in both rituals has a similar meaning in that it can be used to purify oneself of impurity or sin. This demonstrates water's properties as an element capable of dissolving impurities, both dirt in the denotative sense and dirt in the connotative sense, which in this case is sin and impurity. The next similarity in the meaning of water is a medium that can rekindle enthusiasms for God's service. The mind and body are awakened again by the freshness of water that hits the body parts, allowing them to stay awake in serving God. Padusan and Misogi Hare rituals not only have deep meaning in water as its medium, but they also play a role in preserving environmental sustainability from damage. That is all from my presentation. Thank you for your attention. I'm Duana Yulianti. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Ms. Duyana. Thank you for your presentation. Okay, I'll invite for the participants who want to ask question to Ms. Duyana for her presentation about the still it's same with the previous one, comparative study between Japan and Indonesia. Okay, is there any question? Pak Widi, do you want to ask a question, Pak Widi? Okay, please go ahead, Pak Widi.
Okay, thank you very much for your
Yes.
time. I think it is interest your research. So, Miss Divya,
Yeah.
Miss Divya,
Yes.
can you tell how about your inspiration to compare with this tradition? I mean, so why you choose Japan? Japan? Have you gone there to, and have you get experience to what is the best experience to conclude this tradition? Because we are many tradition beside this. For example, like beside Patusan, like what we call fertilized, like Dewi Sri, yeah.
I see. Yeah.
Is it the same? Is there any the same tradition in Japan too? In there?
Yeah. Thank you, Pak Widi. I'm sorry, Adriana. Before I forgot to ask a question, so I will ask a question to you, a short question. What will the importance of water in the rituals of Padusan and these rituals in Japan? And what happened if we are in the drought season? Can we replace the water instead other components, or it should be, or it must be water to conduct the rituals? Yeah, it is a short question for you, I think. Thank you.
Thank you for Ms. Nailil and Mr. Waskitowidi for the questions. Can I answer with Indonesian?
Yes, go ahead.
Maaf ya, saya hanya bisa menjawab pakai bahasa Indonesia supaya jelas karena bahasa Inggris saya nggak terlalu bagus. Mohon maaf sebelumnya.
It's okay, Diana.
Untuk pertanyaan dari Pak Waskitowidi mengenai apa inspirasi saya memilih padusan ritual dan dikomparasikan dengan Misokihara di Jepang, itu karena satu, saya mahasiswa jurusan bahasa Jepang ya Pak. Jadi menarik begitu, dan saya juga mempelajari beberapa budaya dari Jepang gitu. Jadi saya terinspirasi untuk membandingkan dua-duanya. Dan mengapa Padusan dan Misogiharai? Karena saya rasa keduanya itu mirip, Pak. Mirip dari segi tata caranya, mirip dari segi tujuannya, begitu Pak. Apakah belum jelas atau bagaimana Pak? Ada yang perlu ditanyakan kembali?
Awidi, is it clear for you for his answer?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Diana, go ahead for the next answer.
Thank you, Pak Waskitoji. And for the next question from Miss Nailil Masruro, pas musim kering gitu ya?
Ya,
Waktu di
kekeringan.
musim, menurut beberapa referensi yang saya baca, sumber air yang digunakan untuk ritual itu biasanya itu tidak mengering karena itu tuh berasal dari air tanah, jadi tidak berpengaruh dengan hujan atau dengan musim kemarau begitu. Dan di Jepang itu kan tidak ada musim kemarau ya, jadi tuh sumber air seperti air terjun, sungai itu nggak akan mengering seperti itu. Jadi kalau menurut saya dan menurut beberapa referensi yang saya baca, sumber air yang dijadikan untuk ritual itu tidak akan mengering karena benar-benar dijaga seperti itu. Apakah sudah jelas?
Okay, I think it's clear, Juliana, for your answer, and thank you very much for your effort to explain your experience and your knowledge about what you have done or what you have researched. Good luck, Juliana, for your research and for your thesis, maybe, or bachelor thesis. Okay. I'll end your session, Duyana. Thank you again for your participation, and we are moving to the next presenter who will present a paper entitled "Language Style in the Song Lyric Virus Corona, Bencana and Suratan" by Roma Irama. Is it right?
Yes.
Okay.
PowerPoint first.
Okay.
Is it clear?
So who will deliver this presentation? Oh, Devi.
Yes.
Devi will meet again, Devi. Okay. Good luck for your presentation. Go ahead, Devi. Time is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Naili. Good afternoon, anyone. Today, I would like to present this paper entitled Language Style in the Lyrics of the Song Virus Corona, Bencana, and Suratan by Roma Irama. Table of contents of this paper are introduction, research method, result and discussion, conclusion, and reference.
Devi, may I interrupt you, Devi? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I can hear your voice clearly.
Okay.
Okay. There are some noises, right?
Yes, it's so
around of you. Okay. While we are waiting, Devi, for looking another location which safe for her to present. Okay.
Okay. Song lyrics. Is it clear, Miss Naili?
Yeah, actually it's clear. Okay. Okay,
I will continue.
Yes.
Song lyrics are one way to communicate message to others. The song lyrics allow the writer to express what they have seen, experienced, and felt. Roma Irama song lyrics with the theme of human calamity are used in this study. The song's lyrics are Virus Corona, Bencana, and Suratan. People are invited to reflect on themselves, considering all the calamities that occur in the song's lyric. And they are also invited to seek God's protection. The language style of the three song lyrics is very interesting based on their use of language. As a result, this paper discusses which language style are used in the lyrics of Roma Irama song, Virus Corona, Bencana, and Suratan. The use of a person's vocabulary in speaking or writing, the use of certain variations to achieve certain effects, and the overall language characteristic of a group of literary writers are all examples of language style. One more definition is added to the Indonesia dictionary, namely the distinct manner in which thoughts and feelings are expressed in the written or spoken form. Language style, in addition to being a unique way of expressing thoughts, and can reflect the soul and personality of the writer or language speaker. Language style can bring sentences to life and make them move. The language style is used to elicit specific reaction and response from the reader's thoughts. And the climax, anticlimax, parallelism, antithesis, and repetition are examples of language style based on sentence structure. The language style is divided into two types based on whether the meaning is direct or indirect. These are rhetorical language style and figurative language style. And alliteration, assonance, accidental, polysyndental, litotes are examples of rhetorical language style. And simile, metaphor, personification, irony, sarcasm, and cynicism are examples of figurative language style. Okay. Next, the lyrics of Roma Irama song Virus Corona, Bencana, and Suratan were used as data source in this study. The three songs were chosen because they all deal with the same subject, namely disasters. And researchers use the listening method to collect data by listening on YouTube. And the next step is to transcribe the song's lyric and then record the lyric, identifying which part contains the language style. The data was also classified and analyzed using the language style theory. Result and discussion. The language style used in the song lyrics of Virus Corona, Bencana, and Suratan are described below based on sentence structure and types of meaning. Okay. First, language style based on sentence structure. The stylistic found in the song lyrics of Virus Corona, Bencana, and Suratan are as follows based on sentence structure. Climax. The climax language style present ideas in ascending order of importance. Example, tentang musibah yang datang mungkin hanyalah cobaan atau mungkin peringatan, semoga bukan hukuman. In Suratan song, about the disaster that comes, maybe just an ordeal or maybe a warning, hopefully not a punishment. The word cobaan, peringatan, and hukuman in example indicate the climactic style of language. The term cobaan refers to something that is used to test steadfastness, faith, and so on. And peringatan is word that means advice to warn. The term hukuman refers to torture and other punishment imposed on people who break the law. The songwriter hoped that the tragedy is an ordeal or a warning, rather than punishment, because punishment is God's punishment for human mistakes. And the next is parallelism. Parallelism is the use of words or phrases that have the same function in the same grammatical form to create a parallel use. Example, kala makhluk itu datang, menyerang, dan mematikan. In Virus Corona song, when the creator came to attack and didn't. Parallelism is used in example 2, kala makhluk itu datang, menyerang, dan mematikan. The presence of verbs menyerang and mematikan in the sentence indicates the presence of parallelism. These words share the same affix, mo. And then antithesis. The opposite word or the group of words is used in the antithesis. Example, walaupun sudah didaya, ternyata rapuh adanya in Virus Corona song. Even though he was strong, it turned out that he is fragile against it. Example 3, walaupun sudah didaya ternyata rapuh adanya, is written in an antithesis style. The words dikdaya and rapuh are contrasted. Dikdaya means invincible or magical. And meanwhile, the word rapuh refers to something that has been damaged, broken, cracked, or torn apart. With the presence of coronavirus, the songwriter intends that a human who feels strong, invisible, or powerful is still unable to stand against the coronavirus. And then anaphora. Anaphora is the repetition of a word or phrase in each line or sentence. Example, seakan-akan di dunia tiada lagi keamanan. In bencana song, as if there is no security in the world, as if there is no peace in the world. In example, the phrase akan-akan di dunia tiada lagi is repeated in the next line. The repetition is used to emphasize the repeated part. And then next, language style based on the meaning, whether direct or indirect. The language style example is accidental. Because some words, phrases, or clauses that are equivalent are not connected by conjunction, the accidental language style is categorized as a solid language style. Example, gempa bumi, banjir, badai topan yang selalu membawa korban di bencana song. Earthquakes, floods, typhoon, wars bring victims. Only commas are used in the example between gempa bumi, banjir, and badai topan. Conjunction were not used in the song lyrics to make them more visually appealing. And then the last one is litotes. The litotes language style is used to express something aimed at humbling oneself. Example, hanyalah padamu Tuhan kami mohon perlindungan. You alone, Lord, we ask for protection. Dari ancaman bahaya virus yang makin mewabah. From the threat of the danger of the virus that is increasingly endemic. Berilah inayah untuk menghentikannya. In virus corona song, give us guidance to stop it. In example 6, the word inayah means assistance, God's maintenance. The litotes language style is used in the song lyrics because the virus is becoming more endemic. The lyrics contain human submission to ask God for protection. Even in the next line, the writer begs God for assistance in stopping it. This was done because the coronavirus can only be dealt with God's help. Okay. Conclusion, the language style found in Roma Irama song lyric virus corona, bencana, and suratan includes climax, parallelism, antithesis, and anaphora, based on sentence structure. And then accidental, pleonasm, rhetorical question, periphrasis, and litotes are examples of rhetorical language styles discovered. And metaphorical and clinical figurative language style were discovered. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Devi. Although there are some noise around Devi, but I think it's clear enough for us to hear what Devi already presented, and I think it is also interesting, yeah, for your study about Roma Irama song. No wonder, yeah, Roma Irama is the king of dangdut or Raja Dangdut, who is very famous, yeah, very well known for his moral message in every songs, yeah, that he created for the public. Okay, is there any questions for Devi about Roma Irama songs? Okay, I think there is no question, Devi. And I think it's clear for your presentation. It already passed the message what you want to deliver to the audience. Thank you so much, Devi. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you again.
I'm happy to.
Okay, so we are moving to the next presenter. The next presenter is Farina. Is Farina here?
Yeah, I'm here, Bu Nelly.
Okay, thank you, Farina. Then Farina will deliver a paper entitled NCT Psychoanalysis Study on Amori Amory Blaine, the main character of This Side of Paradise, a novel by Francis Scott Fitzgerald. Okay, Farina, screen and time is yours. 10 minutes for presentation and another 5 minutes for question and answer.
Thank you for the time given to me, Mrs. Niley.
Yes.
Let me share my screen first.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Today, I'm going to deliver my slides entitled Anxiety, a Psychoanalysis Study on Emery Blaine, the main character of This Side of Paradise, a novel by Francis Scott Fitzgerald. Table of content, its title, and then abstract, followed by introduction, discussion, and then the last one is conclusion. Abstract, This Side of Paradise, first published in 1920, is the debut novel of Francis Scott Fitzgerald, the famous modern novelist in 20th century America. This novel is concerned with modern industrial society, which created a new culture that broke the tradition. One of the elements of this culture is the emergence of anxiety. This study applies a descriptive qualitative method that shows anxiety as specific psychological disease in the modern industrial era, which correlates to the progress of industrial activities. The complexity of modern life has become a trigger to people living with anxiety. Undetected disease could also be a product of the anxious world. In this decade, what we named COVID-19 and its pandemic. Then introductions. It seems to be kind of out-to-date thing to discuss literature of a modernism era, since we are in the postmodernism decade, as McLaughlin said. The virtual borderline between postmodernism era with the postmodernism was the moment of World Trade Centers attack by two hijackers, McLaughlin argued. And then we come to the point of our discussion today. It is anxiety, a major reason why people defend themselves. Emery told to the world through the character he played in This Side of Paradise that anxiety could be a new culture of people in modern industrial society. Wait a minute. Cases in Emery's life showed that anxiety happened to him was misunderstanding to the real situation. Started in his early life, the mother didn't explain in simple sentences about his morning rose. He confessed that his mother was a beautiful one, but he didn't have any attraction such a man with a woman. And then take a look to the table. Oh, sorry. From the table, it could be explained that implicitly he conflicted to himself because he couldn't occupy his anxious feeling. He should have repressed his disbelief to religions, since his mother didn't introduce to go to church when he was childhood. On the other hand, he enrolled to school that the basis curricula were religion when he was a juvenile, even though he went to school as his mother ordered, not himself who chose the school. Then being atheist was such a break the tradition as their new beliefs. I cited from Warner 2020. Furthermore, when his wealth faded away of his life because his parents passed away, He was in mature life. In modern era, when Amory lived, everything was measured by assets people had. It created alcoholic habit when he lost Rosalind, his girlfriend. Amory wasn't a rich man anymore. His alcoholic habit was just his own reaction formation to escape his unhappy situation faced. Fitzgerald, 2012. And then anxiety started from their own home. Table 1 shows that early defense mechanism, see on reaction formation. Amory was triggered by his mother in his childhood. His mother made him confused in understanding girls or women. He confessed that Beatrice, his mother, was a very beautiful rich lady, but he didn't get any Oedipus complex, a man that fell in love with his mother. Reaction formation that he did was his anxious feeling he had every time seeing a girl that he loved. His beautiful mother was complaining to the situation she faced by talking to him. Meanwhile, he saw that his father was not with them. As a boy who still had a pure feeling, he made conclusion of his parents' situation. It seemed that in his mind was female creature was the one who could make him attracted, but at the same time, she would trouble his life. It was why he must have kissed girls he fell in love with, but to leave them. And then the other point, anxiety was a culture of modern industrial society. The worst defense mechanism that Amory did was when he faced a reality that he had to lose both of his parents. He was a rich boy with an upper-class social status people since he had not been born. He had to lose his wealth when he started his life as a mature man. Regression, as his defense mechanism, was his big anxiety. As stated in the table, that anxieties occupied his mind. He didn't only lose his parents, but also he lost big deals of his wills of his parents. It didn't happen to Amory Bland himself. The 20th century, as we knew, that it was a roaring 20s of United States, the triumphant moments of United States in industries and technologies happened in this decade. I cited from Smart and Counselor, Story of Progress, published in 1987. Since great demand toward US as a superpower country, Americans seem chasing and creating their targets. This situation became a characteristic of modern industrial society. They put high standard of their achievement. Anxiety became another culture of American people, besides flappers for females and jazz age for showbiz industry. The anxieties became new culture since the situations faced by people, especially America, those were the aftermath of World War I, and soon after there was World War II. Another effect why anxiety became a culture was crash stock market. I still cite it from Smart and Counselor, published in 1987. World War I aftermath, that effect Amory was told that he quit his education in Princeton. He made up his mind to be a soldier because he was alone in the world without family. He faced his bankruptcy. If he died as a soldier, it would be much better, died as a hero, not as a pure man. Fitzgerald, 2012. Despite he was anxious in facing his future, he took a right pathway as a soldier. The war was over. He went back to Princeton to continue his study. He couldn't make a clear vision of his life in the future. Anxious situations were a condition faced by his generation, a word that people called modern era. And then crash stock market. In the end, as we know that Amory faced bankruptcy, industries and technology developed rapidly, and what is it? Amory's father became a rich man. He was inherited of the death of the two brothers. They were rich brokers in New York. From then, Stephen and Beatrice, Amory's parents, became the rich couple. They were both rich because of stock they had. On the contrary, the period of his parents' life was contradictory to Amory's blame. People droves kept their money in stock. Too much capital triggered to collapse situation of stock market. And then World War II and the end of modernism era. World War II blasted in 1941 to 1945. America posted their winning time by the inventing of bomb, a fusion reaction of nuclear. It was dropped to the two cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan. America posed its country as a leader of the world then. Actively, the roles of this country were all around the world. The United Nations cited the headquarters in New York, and it became the sign of the end of modernism era. Since then, America became a center point of postmodernism world in which the pop culture led the civilization. As John Story wrote in his article that popular culture is folk culture, something that arises from the people rather than imposed upon them. Pop culture is authentic, created by the people as opposed to commercial, thrust upon them by commercial enterprises, cited by Grossman 2020. And then we come to the conclusion of our discussion today. Anxiety was also a trigger for of undetected disease like COVID-19. Drawing the line of what happened in the modernism era, the period where Emery lived into the facts nowadays, it seemed integrally correlated. Anxiety became a culture as represented in businesses. Insurance businesses grew rapidly. Technologies to protect our safety devices were the product of anxiety. Many medicines were invented to cure the diseases that the symptoms were triggered by humans' anxiety. And on the way around, the disease that was triggered by the anxiety also came up. Coronaviruses of 19-year disease that was triggered by the coronaviruses of 19 years, the disease would attack humans easily to whom were anxious easily. So it could be concluded that the questions in life that hadn't been found, the answers almost triggered our anxiety. Same as COVID-19, it was the disease that had not had the answer yet. What questions were they then? It could be the question of how to overcome the pollution in the air, water, and especially ocean, or the question how to overcome, the question of how to preserve the earth from garbage, and many more. Since all the questions were from humans, COVID-19 stopped them to think or rethink all the humans' activities. I think it's enough what I could deliver to you. References I took from Augustine, Defense Mechanism, Grossman, Sociological Definition of Popular Culture, the History and Genesis of Pop Culture, and then Fitzgerald, Warmer, The Roaring Twenties, McLaughlin, After the Revolution, US Postmodernism, from Journal Narrative, and then the last one, Smart and Counselor, World History, A Story of Progress.
Okay, thank you, Farina. Thank you, and I think this is very interesting to be here for us. Let us know whether any questions from the audience.
I have a question. May
Okay, Pak Rabi Jihan again. Please go ahead, Pak Rabi Jihan.
Thank you, Ibu Farina.
Ya.
Boleh bahasa Indonesia ya?
Boleh.
Saya tertarik tadi Bu Farina menggambarkan karakter Amory ini as defense mechanisms ya, defense mechanisms.
Defense mechanism.
Ya. is it defense mechanism or narcissism?
Defense mechanism, Pak Rawit.
I mean, itu sebetulnya defense mechanism atau narsisme gitu. Saya ingin pendapat saja dari Ibu Farina. Thank you.
Narcissism, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Please, Miss Farina.
Yeah.
Response.
Narcissistic is a part of Emery's brain characteristics, but the whole story shows us that there are some defense mechanism did by Emery in which triggered by his anxiety. Let me tell you that actually I wrote this thesis in comparison study. I compare with the Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Hanneman, a novel that is published in postmodernism era. And I found that the interesting thing between modernism era and postmodernism era, in which 100 years ago, with now postmodernism, the basic conflict of people is stay the same. That is anxious facing their life. Either Eleanor as a main character in the Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, or Emery Blaine in The Side of Paradise. I think word didn't change too much. In a year, people still doesn't understand how to occupy their anxiety. That's what I found when I wrote those two novels, Pak Rabit Jihan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Satisfying, I hope.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Rabi Jihan, for the question, and Miss Farina for the answer. And maybe we have 2 minutes left, and I want to ask a short question for you. Do you recommend this book to be read by public in Indonesia? And why do you recommend it?
Yeah, of course, yes, because from a macro sastra, I found that both in Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine and then The Side of Paradise by Francis Fitzgerald, we saw that the big the big contribution of the country play an important role in saving their citizens.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's about nationalism, or
no, I mean how the country, responsible to the citizens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the modernism era, Francis Scott Fitzgerald had a very wide freedom to express his creativity in novel. Meanwhile, at that time, how to criticize political countries or a leader of country still forbidden in every part of the world, but America has become a freedom to speech their thinking. And in the postmodernism era, in which Eleanor Oliphant faced a very crucial life, also the country give social jaminan sosial. What is jaminan sosial?
It kinds of responsibilities.
Yeah, responsibility of the country being giving jaminan sosial to the citizen. Save the Eleanor Oliphant who faced psychology clinic. What's that?
So I thought that Yeah, I thought that there are many moral values
Yeah,
that that we can get if we read the novel.
yeah.
Well, this is very interesting and looking forward to reading the novel uh, in the next period. Okay, thank you so much for Miss Farina for your presentation and interesting discussion. Thank you again. And we are moving forward to the next presenter who will deliver a paper entitled Socio-Cultural Response to Post-Nationalization of Dutch Companies 1958 to 1966. I think it will be delivered by Pak Waskito Widi. Is Pak Waskito Widi here? Okay, Pak Waskito Widi seems to be ready to present the paper. Okay, Pak Waskito Widi, time and screen is yours.
Okay. Can you share my PPT?
Okay, I will help you to share your PowerPoint. Okay, wait a minute.
Okay.
Just say next and next to operate it.
Yep. Okay, thank you very much for your time. I think actually I was very shy to present my article, especially to my young brother.
No. Sorry. I think it wrongs. Okay, wait.
I was sent for you, Miss Nelly.
Sorry, wait a minute. Okay. Wait. It's loading. Here. Okay. Okay, I think it's ready. Here, share. Please, Pak Widi.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Nelly. Actually, I was very excited to present my article, especially for my young brothers in here, Mr. and the attendants. Okay. I would like to share my article. It is the part of my research, and the title is about the sociocultural response to the post-nationalization of Dutch companies in the period. And my focus in the paper, this paper about these. Okay, the next.
Okay.
My material point about six layer. Actually, we have for just five. The reduction method result in discussion, and so we can grow to introduction that yeah, socio-cultural response after the nationalization of the Dutch company in the late 1940s period in Indonesia have been frequently forgotten in many discussion topics. Moreover, in this period, decade was also known decade to the debate stereotype even by the new order. Yeah. And however, some argue that in the period decade as a dynamic, actually as a dynamic democracy, struggle happen, and then people can now evaluate that whether that era was categorized as a golden or dark era. Yeah. If we talk about from the Indonesian historiography, I think many historians from Australia, like Andrian Vickers, said that this, the period is the golden era at the democratic. And the next, we know that a part of the above categories and the end 1950 until the middle of 1960s. It was crucial for Indonesian history after Sukarno dismissed the Constituent Assembly. Yeah. We know that many switched from Sukarno. Revolution is not finished. Politics is the commander. Yeah, it's become Sukarno's powerful slogan to gain the people's sympathy to support these policies. And I would like to focus on explaining the expression format of both public component. It was known that that since the early 1950s, the workers had urged the government to cancel roundtable conference, known as we know about the conference in Jakarta. Result considered more favorable for the Dutch and weaken the Indonesian economy.
Salam.
The labor union, Serikat Buruh, took over the Dutch companies in various parts of the country before the nationalization policy was implemented. The next. So, it is the method, I think, we under four states from heuristic, criticism, interpretation, and historiography. Yeah. Okay, the next. Okay, result and discussion. The form of social action made by worker after nationalization and the role of artists and writers at the end of 1950 to 1966. Yeah. I mean that the result we divide to form to the part in the form of social action and the role of arts and writers at the end of the periods. Yeah, we know that the workers not only acted as the economic and company operation driver, but also had the power as a pressure group. Yeah, especially this joining as the members of labor unions. They frequently meet demonstration affecting our social world as at both regional and national level. So if we read the newspaper, the headline of the newspaper, many workers in the other place from Surabaya or the until the small cities Tegal, yeah, Klaten, yeah, and the other places. There are many reactions to pressure how the government to take over the Dutch companies, and there are many reactions to demonstrate it. And the interesting that the worker at the Dutch company is the worker who a level middle and low, yeah. Middle and low, not only middle up, because there are many workers, the what we call inlander, yeah, pribumi, yeah. Pribumi is not high level structure, but he is to be middle low, and there are many thinking, many role, many acts to and many expression, and there are many activities, and every year there are make demonstration. I mean that there are many the big meeting like a conference, like what we call now Congress, yeah, what we call Congress, and Congress is the youth, many members from the other peoples, not just 100, but maybe 1,000 members. I think that's interest, but there is no crowded, and there is no crowded, and there is no victim from the demonstrated, but just the how they make a pressure, and the result is give the government. Various actions made by and later under various companies had put political pressure on business, parliament, and government. The labor union working for the Dutch, like bank, had made coordination, yeah, before taking off from the companies. For example, the bank. Yeah. The next, it is the picture about NHM and Eskomto. There are the the huge, the big company from the Dutch company, and like the in labor union in Surabaya had a strike, and the workers still went to work, but they didn't working activity. Yeah, they just many. As I said, that there are not many victim, not many crowded, but there are just went to work, but they didn't working activity, just not make a credit anymore. Okay, the next.
Sorry, Pak Widi, for interrupting.
Okay.
Actually, 2 minutes left for you.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and the end, the result and the discussion, the role of art,
Okay.
yeah, and the spirit from debates, debates between the people, art, institute, cultural by manifesto. And this is the role of the arts, yeah, and we know that they are affiliate with Partai Komunis Indonesia, and there are after we know after this we know about the lekra concept as a form of its struggle. Yeah, people culture is in this case was understood as a representative or oppressed by the Dutch imperialism. Okay, Lekra position itself is an anti-colonial institution in various forms, influences of right ideologies as well as economic and political fields. Okay, the conclusion.
Okay.
Okay.
Conclusion. It is conclusion. Oh, this one.
Yeah, this one. Okay. So we know that the Dutch didn't expect that Indonesia would repatriate thousands of citizens from Indonesian nationalization of the Dutch companies and political pressure as part of strategies to seize was Irian. And the arrival of citizen, citizen were forced to become workers and unskilled laborers. The profession they had never imagined before, frequency ridicule and avoided when they were in Indonesia. So actually, if we know that there are two debates, the big debate from Lekra and what we call the good debate, and there is the backing from the military and the politician at the moment. Okay, I think
Okay.
this is my present. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Widi, for presenting an interesting topic, and looking forward to hearing from your study again, your doctoral thesis, your dissertation, and hopefully it will be very useful for your achievement for the next future. Okay. Well, we are.
Hello?
Suaranya hilang, Mbak Nelly.
Suaranya hilang, Mbak.
Halo.
Nah, udah masuk lagi.
Okay. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. We are moving to the last presenter. Well, the last presenter is Mr. Khotibul Umam, and he will present a title. Yeah, he will present a video actually. Yeah, he will present a video. I don't have any his title, but I will try to present his work in the form of video to all of you. Wait a minute. Can you see my share screen? Hello, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
And Gregorius Dri Hendrawan Manuruk from the Department of Indonesian Literature, Faculty of Humanities, Diponegoro University, Semarang. In early 2020, the COVID-19 case turned into a global pandemic, including in Indonesia. The social distancing or pembatasan sosial enforcement as a means to prevent the spread of COVID-19 immediately changed the social life. Performing art that need live interaction between the artist and audience became a group with the most significant impact. At the time, as one of the art epicenter in Indonesia, Central Java faced a problem when the performing art worker could no longer hold a performance. With no performance, the artists automatically lost their income. People conduct various kind of experiment and adaptation to overcome the problem. The first is Panggung Kahanan, was one of the event. It was a virtual show in the official residence of the Governor of Central Java, Ganjar Pranowo. The second is Lembah Gana Festival. It's another adaptation of art exhibition in Semarang Regency. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the event took place in Lembah Gana, specifically at Ganesa and Watu Kelir site, and aired on YouTube virtually. is several music group in Semarang eventually turned their stage while show on YouTube and Instagram. Research on various kind of art activities amid the pandemic is essential. People must preserve the art as one of the evidence of human resilience in survival. The research aim to record every adaptation and experience process of the artist and
I think
cultural
I'll push forward
practitioner
the video.
literature in Indonesia. People use various kind of performing art in religious rites, traditional ceremony, expression of social and political criticism, and have a unique atmosphere on occurrence where interaction between performer and the audience occur. There is a live interaction between them. They see and feel each other in the same atmosphere. Are one of the art genre that is most affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Festival and Semarang Indie Band or Semarang Indie Musician. Okay. The entire show post in Ganjar Pranowo YouTube channel and Facebook account. This social distancing or pembatasan sosial enforcement led their choice to fall into a virtual show concept. Of course, the adaptation to virtual from could not indeed meet all the art performance fiction. There were several missing elements, of course, from the live audience reaction to the stuttering of the actor, especially the traditional artist in the virtual show concept. Okay, but from the three edition of Banggunganan can be a role model to create art and cultural event amidst the social distance. Next is
I think I'll push forward the video. I think it's okay.
Member of Trida for Suki Purnian and Pyong Pyong took another step. They are make collaboration with people from another creative industry outside the music sector, such as culinary and clothing line. Next, party, both during the preparation and execution. The network of friends in the music sector and theater help Wiwi and friend prepare the concert. Practitioners, archaeologists, historians, and the general public. Sendratari is the art, theater, and dance. Shadow puppet or wayang, contemporary puppet, art installation using natural ingredients, musical performance, and so on. Other than various performance, they also had the festival. Lembah Gana Festival is got its funding from the facilitation of the cultural sector of the Ministry of Education and Culture in the public space utilization category. Judging from the event concept and result, they made good use they made good use of the fund. As a premier event, the festival unite the local communities and give valuable education regarding ancient Javanese culture-based cultural resilience. Okay. The harsh condition amidst the COVID-19 pandemic indirectly open up many opportunity in expanding the art and cultural ecosystem. The optimization of technology and digital space gave the new practice that can support the continuity of the cultural ecosystem. That's our presentation. thank you and bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for Mr. Khotibul Umam and team. Well, I think before we end the session, ladies and gentlemen, please kindly fill the registration form, attendance list in the chat box in this room chat. If you have any questions for what Mr. Khotibul Umam done, you can directly pass to me and I will pass to Mr. Khotibul Umam and team. Yeah, okay. Please kindly fill the attendance list, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your participation and thank you for your fruitful discussion. And this is very interesting session with all of you, from the first speaker, from the first presenter until the last presenter, and all of the topics is very interesting and very useful to be studied and to be discussed together. Okay, again, thank you very much. Thank you also to Pak Rabijihan Amaruli for the questions, for your participation, and thank you to Pak Slamet. Maybe Pak Slamet is in here, but okay. Okay, Pak Slamet, thank you so much for your participation in this room. Well, I will close this session. Ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for your kind attendance, and hopefully we can see you in the next opportunity, in the next chance, or maybe in the next conference in the next year. Thank you so much, and good evening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Oh, okay. Before we close this room, let us take a picture together. Okay, wait. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn on your camera. Okay, kindly please turn on the camera. Devi, okay, I think Devi is off camera. Okay, I will take the photo. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you again, everyone. See you.
You're
You can
welcome,
leave this
Madeline.
thank you. This room and moving to the main room for closing ceremony. Is it right, Pak Heri?
Yes, Mbak Nelly. So, Bapak Ibu, the presenter, if you can join the closing ceremony for a couple of announcements from the committee, that will be appreciated. Thank you, Mbak Nelly. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you Pak Heri. Thank you Pak Samet, Pak Jihan, Pak Waskito Widi. Thank you Farina. Thank you Devi.
Thank you.
Thank you Jenny. Good luck for your study.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm.